When people that don't have power feel they can't exert what power they want to have over you, they'll try to bring you down. The whole purpose of this show is to engage with business owners and be able to answer questions for people that will give them some insight and perspective on how to grow and scale a business. Not only leadership, but real life examples. This is the golden moment. I would do business with you right now.
Hello, welcome to 10X Owners Live. We are so excited to be with you tonight. I have the amazing, the incomparable Brandon Dawson here. Brandon, you want to share a little bit about who you are?
Hey, everybody. Welcome to 10X Owners Live with my co-host, Natalie Dawson.
Oh, but we're talking about you.
I'm Brandon Dawson.
That's you. I'm Natalie Dawson. Brandon, you want to tell us why we're on this Owners Live show and what experience you have that gives some validity to these business owners who are like, man, why did I show up to this live call? Did Josh Dawson, did Enrique, did Steven force me to come here? And now I've totally forgotten why I'm here. Why are they here?
Well, we are growth and scaling experts. We help thousands of business owners find how to grow and scale their business, create massive value.
But what makes you an expert? Are you like all of these other internet people who are like, oh, grow and scale your business?
No, for those of you that don't know me, I always feel like everybody already knows me that are on the 10X Owners Live.
And if they know, let's hear it again.
Yeah, my last business before Cardone Ventures, I started it with no outside investors, no borrowed capital, no outside capital, organically building it using the methodologies and the things that we teach business owners to do every single day. Grew it to $50 million of profits over 14 years, and then sold it for 77 times EBITDA, 151.
Did you say 17 times EBITDA?
77 times EBITDA.
There were two sevens.
Two sevens.
Two sevens.
My high school, my junior high football number was 77.
It's a lucky number.
And $151 million. And then we took $1 billion company in 36 months to $4 billion. And then Natalie and I partnered with Grant and Elena Cardone, and now we are helping 10X businesses do the same thing. And that's what our commitment is. And we've had remarkable success. In fact, using those exact same principles in 36 months, it's 36 months this month.
Yes, it is.
We've been in business with Grant and Elena at Cardone Ventures for 36 months now. And we just went through our recap valuation of Cardone Ventures, and we've created a business that's in excess of $500 million of enterprise value in 36 months. Teaching business owners to do exactly the same thing we do to grow and scale our business.
Pretty remarkable. So if you're on here and you're new, I hope you are now fully reminded as to why you showed up, because we are here to help you grow and scale your business. We talk about people, we talk about marketing, we talk about finance and leadership, all the things that you need on this 10X Owners call. Tonight, we're talking about people because Brandon, why are people so important? As you think about all of your experience with growing and scaling businesses, how do people come into play?
Well, you know, the idea, the strategy can be remarkable. The product or service can be remarkable. The business owner can be remarkable. But if you can't find, attract, align, develop, and retain remarkable people, the business will eventually stall, stagnate, or fail. And I always like to go back to the statistics. 2/3 of all businesses out of 31.5 million small to mid-sized businesses, anything under 100 million, fail in the first 5 years, and 97% fail in the first 10. So when you think about the failure rate of businesses, you notice these chairs kind of turn towards each other.
They do. Guys, we have new chairs in this studio.
I slowly spin.
And but it's just because you're magnetized.
That's it. That makes sense. So look, the statistics prove out what we're talking about, and what our passion is to help business owners not find themselves in a situation where they become a negative statistic by helping them find ways through the different growth cycles and different growth periods, which we call breakpoints. And so many of you, if this is, in fact, put a first time, just put first if this is your first 10X Owners Live.
To all of the Canadians, like 10X is infiltrating Canada.
Let's go.
We are pumped about. Oh gosh, guys, welcome to the first timers.
Love it.
Oh, that's so awesome. We're so happy you're here.
A
Jared,
500th
500th
Jared.
time. Same, Jared.
So we've been doing 10X Owners Live. We started this the week COVID shutdowns happened because we were doing all live events. And basically we were like, well, we can't see anybody. So we set up studios in our home, probably 5 of them. And we just, the whole team of 5 went live, basically working with business owners. And we grew that business from 3 employees exactly 36 months ago to today. We have 100 and how many do we have?
Gosh, I think it's like 110.
110 employees full-time.
I got extra passionate about this earlier today because I had the opportunity to speak in front of a group of people that aren't 10Xers. And maybe there are some of them in the room that are certainly 10X, but it wasn't a group that is already familiar with the 10X way. They weren't a Grant Cardone audience. And it's been a while. He and I were talking about this. It's been a while since we've just been around people who aren't totally immersed and involved in this 10X community. And so as I was thinking ahead of this speech as to what I wanted to talk about, you kind of sit back and reflect on, okay, what are accomplishments that you would share and what are certain stories and things for somebody who's never heard of you in order to gain buy-in and trust, and being able to say, hey, we've impacted all of these team members' lives. The owners on this call is so incredible. And I see and recognize so many faces. This is like showing up to a Tuesday night dinner with family. But the team members, like we have 110 team members at Cardone Ventures, and we've done that in such a short period of time. And we have so many tips and secrets as to how we've done that. But to be able to do that for your team members, that's one of the things that I'm incredibly passionate about is how do you help a business owner not feel and have this mentality like workforce today in 2022 is very difficult and it's hard to find great people, and the great resignation, it's just really wiped out our workforce. Like, how do you change the narrative to say instead, hey, work with a group of badass individuals who are on the same team, we're aligned as to where the business is going. They help me solve difficult problems. I see people on this call who are team members like Josh Turney and Steven, and team members who are newer to Cardone Ventures, but like they're totally kicking ass with our company because we have these processes and systems to take great people and turn them into extraordinary team members through our systems. And that's one of the things that we talk a lot about here on 10X Owners Live. And some of the secrets we're going to be sharing with you guys tonight, but we're also going to be taking questions.
And we have our winner for, we put out How to Buy a Business with No Money Down, the 10X Business Advisor. And we had our first person win an opportunity to pitch their business that will be joining us tonight as well. I believe they're on. So you guys will see firsthand somebody who wants to pitch me on a business idea.
Are we ready for that right now?
We don't have to do it right now. We can do it in a few minutes.
All right.
Did I interrupt your flow?
Team, let us know.
I was just letting everybody know that somebody was here from that program.
Okay. Like a foreshadowing? Is that what
Yeah.
we're doing?
Is that what it's called? Foreshadowing?
We're doing a little tease on that.
Who wants to have a massive business? Let me hear 10X in the chat.
Oh, loud 10X. It better be like a scream.
Big one. There you go. Look at that. Love it, love it, love it. Man, there's never been a better time to be in business than right now.
So true.
We saw, when COVID hit, a lot of people all of a sudden were afraid. And the people that were running poorly run businesses, they struggled or they went out of business. People who focused on how to run a remarkable organization, how to pay attention to the finances, how to pay attention to their people, how to pay attention to the marketing, how to pay attention to sales and conversion, how to pay attention to finding the best people in the market. They absolutely crushed it. And so many of those people are people that we've worked with through thick and thin. And so we're very, very proud of those business owners. And if you're new tonight, the question is, how do we build a relationship so we can help you as well?
That's right.
All right, what are we talking about? I noticed you got a cheat sheet in your hand.
I have a whole sheet.
Let's talk about it.
What do you want to talk about?
Whatever's on your sheet. There's a reason that you have a sheet.
I do have a sheet. I have a sheet with lots of things that we could connect on. But one thing that I would love to focus in on tonight, especially relating to people and this talk that I gave earlier today, it was interesting because I oftentimes ask business owners, what's your mission statement? And most people don't think it's some revolutionary thing inside their business. And oftentimes they raise their hands and we work through it. But in this particular group that I was talking to today, all business owners that if you're in the room, your business was doing $7.5 million or above. So pretty qualified group. And I kid you not one business owner raised.
Just go louder.
Oh, can you guys hear me? It was for effect. Can you guys hear me though?
You don't need the effect. Just tell them the story.
Not one business owner. I'm telling the story. He's not used to me being the one on stage. So all of a sudden he's like,
She did amazing
he's
today.
talking.
Everybody give a round of applause for
I don't
Natalie.
need a round of
She
applause.
killed it today.
No, but thank you. Nobody raised their hand to say that they had a mission statement. And it blew my mind. Like, how do you not have a statement inside of your business that very succinctly states why you exist? Because this fallacy is, oh, my team members just know why we do what we do. You could assume that every person that you've hired, because they work for you and you pay them a paycheck, knows why you do what you do. Well, it's just not the case. And one of the most terrifying things that ever happened to me very early on in my career was the president of the company that I was interning at on my second day working there. When I walked past him, I was going to the bathroom. He was leaving the bathroom, kind of awkward situation. We're bathroom crossing and like totally awkward with the president. You're like, oh, it's like, do you step away? Anyway, as we were crossing paths, he stops me and he introduces himself. Hi, this is my name. And I said, hi, my name's Natalie. And he says, so Natalie, what's our mission statement at Audigy Group? It's my freaking second day here. I have no idea. Saying that, I said something to the effect of, oh, I'm not sure. It's my second day here. He looked at me dead in the eyes and said, Natalie, no one is allowed in my environment without understanding the mission statement because leeches are not tolerated. Leeches, all of a sudden, day 2, I'm a leech. Like, oh, okay. Honestly, I about peed my pants. I barely made it to the bathroom at that point. I was like terrified. It was really a shocking experience. But what did that teach me? Well, you should, as a business owner, be that protective of your environment. You should have the expectation that everybody who is responsible, because think about this, every person that you hire is responsible for touching some part of your business, even if they aren't client facing, they're responsible at some level for your brand. All of them should know why you exist. And if they don't know why you exist, then how do you make it part of your culture to ensure that every single person is trained? Fun fact at Cardone Ventures, upon completing onboarding, every one of our new team members takes a quiz. It's an open book quiz. So, they have like resources in front of them, but it's one of the things so that I feel confident in knowing that our new team members like Josh Turney and Steven know our mission statement. Like it's a question. Hey, what is Cardone Ventures mission statement? What is our vision statement? What is our core values? It's not enough to just have it established. You also have to ensure, hey, do people know this around here? And you get to test into that. I wouldn't recommend doing this to people on their first day. Feels a little bit like hazing. Maybe wait till like 1 month in and then start drilling people. Josh Turney, next time I see you in the office, I'm gonna be like, hey, what's Cardone?
Everybody keeps asking if it was me that ran into you on the way to the bathroom. It actually
It
wasn't me.
Brandon.
It was the president of
It was
my
the
company.
president.
And by the
It was
way,
terrifying. He
by
was
the
in a
way, I
suit.
saw somebody else say
I
if
had
he
bought
did,
my
if-
outfit at like a grocery store.
excuse me, ma'am. You've been talking all day.
I'm sorry, you're right.
So not only was he the president, but he was the next door neighbor to her family.
It was so
So
mortifying.
we all knew each other very well. And he assumed that since she knew us well and understood what we stood for in our
I didn't
organization.
even know what an audiologist was. And this is where, I try to break things down so simply because unlike you as a business owner and you as a business owner, like you think that people know what you do. You think Jared Ritter, I'm sure you think that somebody that is answering phones for you really understands that you help people buy and sell homes. It is quite very possible, if not likely, that it's basic to you, but people do not know or understand what it is you're actually trying to do. So if you don't take it upon yourself as the owner to educate your team members, like take it to that level, then you're missing out on a good portion of your team that could be helpful in the process of having you grow, but they just didn't even know what the heck was going on. And they've maybe felt silly to ask, and they're not going to go to Google because that's like way too much effort, but it's your responsibility to ensure that those things are clear.
I agree 100%.
Why do you have
I've
a
been
shit-
teasing her all day.
shit-eating
because-
grin on his
Okay,
face?
so can I tell you something?
What?
She
Tell
did
us.
a
Tell
live
us all.
all the way to the airport
Oh, do you guys like the
for a
lives?
half
Give me-
hour.
Put
and,
in the poll.
and then she went and did her talk.
Put in the poll.
And then she did a live all the way
yes,
home.
if you
And
like
now
the
she's doing all the
lives.
talking on 10X Owners Live. She is in a talking mood today,
You're
which makes my
welcome.
life a lot easier
You're welcome.
because usually I'm the one that has to do all the talking.
You're
But
welcome.
I could just sit and listen to her talk because everything she's saying is true and accurate and impactful.
Thank God.
And so thank God, right? Thank God. All right. So should we take a couple questions and then we're going to give our opportunity
People
to
love the lives, and Brandon needs all of us. Let's shame Brandon for a little bit. Put yes in the chat if you would like Brandon Dawson to go live.
how am I
more
going to go
often.
live when I try to go live in the car, but she was going live
Well,
in the
but
car.
I was already live. It doesn't like you
See,
can't.
she
do
controls
it.
the airspace and then I can't do it. So she
We're
trumps
only
me.
together for like 20 minutes. In the
All right, let's
day.
get to the
See,
reason
all
that
of these people. Let's just shame him for a second. Brandon, what do we do? Why do we do what we do at Cardo Ventures? What's our mission statement?
to impact the lives of 1 million business owners, personally, professionally, and financially.
Okay, so by going live, do you think that you'd be able to help more business owners grow and scale their business
Absolutely.
and achieve their goals?
Absolutely.
So do you think it would be in your best interest, because that's your goal,
Absolutely.
to go live more often with
Absolutely.
our amazing audience? See, guys,
Absolutely.
I'm role playing, but this is what you would do with your team members. When
Absolutely.
your team members don't
It's
want to
true.
do something and they're like pushing back, because Brandon's also a team member of mine, even though he's my boss, he's still a team member. When they're not doing the things that they're supposed to be doing, how do you tie in why you're doing what you're doing to the goals of the team member to use those two things in order for them to take action to get further to where you want to go? So Brandon's going to start going live, right? Is that
100%.
is that what we want to do?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with her 100%. All right. So let's get to our first question. Let's pick somebody that has a question there. Jared, how you doing, brother?
Jared, what a jacket. That one's popping.
Thank you.
Poppin'.
Appreciate it. How's it going, guys?
He's stealing all my words. I say it's popping. Now he's saying it's popping.
I agree. I agree. See,
Little
I've been
did you
working
know,
on that Cardone section. Hey,
Brandon's
you guys
just
want to
my
have a
parent.
happy, healthy marriage? You just take that Cardone use section that talks about the customer's always right and always agree with them.
That's great.
Yeah.
Love it.
Works,
And you,
works at work and it works at home.
It's fantastic.
That's
and
right.
you go to Justin Bieber concerts. I hope you guys had fun.
It was the best.
Ugh.
Was it the best?
I'll do anything for love.
That's right.
That's awesome. Natalie, hope you had an awesome birthday, but appreciate you
Thank
guys
you.
very much. So my question is kind of regarding around people, but it's more so the public eye. So you guys have grown this business a lot. You're probably involved in a ton of people's lives now. So how do you handle, as two public figures, how do you handle trying to appease everyone? That's my question.
Mm.
Well, first of all, we don't, you okay over there? Was that a laugh or what?
Did
He
you guys just
sneezed.
hear that?
Jeez, our camera guy just sneezed. I thought he was laughing. So look, he was on the helicopter ride with us today. So we've been with JC now for, I don't know, the better part of 8 hours. So
Never heard him sneeze. Been with
never
him
heard
now
him
for a
sneeze. So
year.
that was a
new.
first.
Okay.
So look, in our business, we come across a lot of people. I will say, God's honest truth, other than one client that I can think of
Mhm.
recently, everybody has been remarkable to work with. They're logical, they're enthusiastic about their future, they're committed, they're invested. Like when you get to pick who you work around, it's easy to be a good person and be the best version of yourself because you're dealing with people that are being the best versions of themselves. When you run into like what happened, we had a conflict with a client who's entirely unreasonable. And when you run into that, then what we do is we try to appease them. And then if you can't appease them and they're illogical, you just disconnect, you just ignore them. And you let them go do whatever they're going to go do, because it doesn't really have it only has an impact or effect on you if you focus on it. So people will try, when people feel like they're losing power. Just remember this, because this is true with any influences out there in the real world, right? When people that don't have power feel they can't exert what power they want to have over you, they'll try to bring you down. And that's true for employees. Gallup poll surveys 100 million workers a year in the United States. 2/3 are disengaged or actively disengaged. In fact, 18% say that they're intentionally trying to sabotage the company they work in. So you think that's 18 million pathetic people out there. And so we're going to find them. All of us are going to find some of them at some point. But if we put our attention on them, then we're ignoring the top 20 or 30 or 40% that are actively engaged, that are actually trying to help us win and expect us to help them win. So you have to pick who you're going to put your energy with and who you're going to put your attention on. And so we just choose to do it with people who are highly, actively, positively engaged and contributing, because then we'll not only mirror that, but we'll amplify it, because that's our expertise. And so we look for those relationships, and the people who don't fit in that, we just ignore them. We don't need to get mad at them. I mean, they got their own problems they carried into the relationship, and they're going to continue to carry those things around with them for eternity if they don't choose to fix it.
Yeah, and I think the expectation question is also one thing that I used to struggle with is, am I an ethical person? And I really believe, like, I am so sold on myself and that I will make any situation right. And if I've done wrong, I'm going to go fix that thing. And so if I operate from that place every single day where I have grace to myself, I'm a friend to myself, I believe in myself, all of a sudden, when I'm dealing with people, I believe that I'm in that moment making the right decision. And so I have a lot of confidence handling a client or friends or family or my spouse, whoever it is, in the best way possible, because I'm like, well, Natalie is doing the best that she can with the information that's in front of her and serving whatever need is in front of her at that moment. And if I make a mistake, which I do, and if he makes a mistake, we're ethical. And because I believe I'm ethical, okay, I don't have to worry about not making that mistake, because I know if I do, I'm going to go fix that thing.
And I'll tell you another great thing, Jared, that we learned from Grant, is when somebody does become unreasonable and self-indulgent, and they do whatever they're going to do, you promote it. You convert that energy from letting it bother you to promoting it. Like, throw it right back, right? And promote it. Like, promote what unreasonable people sound like. Promote. So then what happens is you can take whatever energy that you're thinking about and you can use it to your advantage, because I think everybody that's on here has dealt with an unreasonable person. And so the question is when you have an unreasonable person in your life, do you let them bring you to their level, or do you just go so far above it that it's irrelative? And I think for us, it's been a learning process. I mean, Natalie used to be very sensitive about what people would think or say.
So sensitive.
I mean, unbelievable that it controlled her.
So it would make me not say anything and make me feel a lack of confidence in just about any situation. And when you start to feel like that, but you have to take a step back and be like, wait a second, what do I think about myself? I think I'm a really great person. Like, I actually know. And when I survey the people around me, I actually know I'm a really great person. Like, I do the things that I say that I'm going to do. I make commitments. I follow up. I'm a good friend. I take care of myself. Okay. So once I start doing those things, now I'm good with anybody else who has an issue or they have some other thought about me, because I know who I am and I'm not paralyzed by that any longer.
Yeah, I think that's phenomenal. A lot of this, I'm sure, client-facing business world, we try to be people pleasers. So that's really good insight, and I appreciate you guys speaking on it. So thank you.
Awesome, brother. Good to see you, man.
So good.
You guys too.
All right, who's next here?
So Natalie, do you deal with Brandon as the unreasonable person? Let's talk about this. Is Brandon unreasonable? Absolutely. Brandon is probably the most unreasonable person I've ever met in my entire life. He pushes, he shares an expectation. He will never tell you how to get there. He will never even tell you the best way to get there. Brandon is not the type of person to give you directions, but he is the type of person to say, hey, I have this massive belief in where you can go and what you could turn into. And here's this opportunity. And if you're interested and you have the guts to go after that thing, it's all yours. Like, go for it. And having somebody like that in your life, sometimes I want to blame him because I'm like, can't you just tell me how to do this? Like, I need you to get in the weeds with me. And he refuses. So now I've learned to stop.
Look, I mean, I'll tell him, look, here's the thing. You're asking the wrong person. I'm not an expert in this, but I will definitely invest. You come back and tell me the research you've done, the best 2 or 3 examples of what you want to do, and I'll invest the money for you to go learn from them. But don't come to me and look to me to be the problem solver, because I'm not smart enough to solve everybody's problems. The best we can do is identify we got a problem. Then the question becomes, how do we fix it? And where do we get the relative information in order to attack it, to resolve it, and then learn from it? And that's everyone's job, is to be reasonable enough to understand that none of us are smart enough to solve everything in the business, but we got to be smart enough to ask the right questions and go find the right answers.
And he's unreasonable enough to believe that people are capable of things that they don't think that they're capable of. And I think if more people really expected that of others, without feeling this weight or this heavy expectation, once you make this ask of somebody, man, the world would be such a better place. If you guys were able to do that with your team members or your spouses, imagine if you're the person in your community that you're known for being somebody who shares visions for people. Like, I can see you doing this. I can see you blowing up your real estate business. I can see you having 5 chiropractic clinics when maybe somebody is nervous about just even opening their first one. Like, if you're that person, all of a sudden you really have the ability to change people's lives because you believed in them. But what would be your superpower at that point? Sharing people's visions, but then also getting them there and holding their hands. You can't hold everybody's hands, and certain people are going to make those decisions, and other people aren't going to make those decisions, but that's that reasonableness. I would rather have them be unreasonable in that way, because at least the vision is shared, and most people can figure it out because you're smart and you're capable and you're able to.
And you know what I've learned, and if I tell people, I don't know the answer, what's your first and best thought? I get transparency into how well they're thinking.
Mm-hmm.
If you're always coming up with the answers, you never have transparency into how your team's thinking. So one of the things I will tell you as a business owner, it's always good to say, let's just assume I don't have the idea. What would be your best idea if I wasn't here? And you start training your people to think for themselves, because that becomes a skill set. You know, most of us have been raised to not think for ourselves. Most of us have been raised by the school system, the churches, you name it, the government, that we aren't really allowed to think for ourselves. They're going to tell us what to do and we need to comply. And so people just have been mistrained. So one of the benefits, one of the gifts you can give to human beings is teaching them that they can actually learn and create if they put their thought on it. So for you to know if they're a reckless doer or a doer that does according to bad thinking is to be asking, if I wasn't here right now, what decision would you intuitively make? And then if they're like, I don't know, and say, well, where would you think you would find the information? And instead of giving them the answer, make them get to a place where they can learn how to find the answers, because then you're teaching people how to actually think and then do.
Speaking of teams, I have a People Essentials workshop coming up here very soon. I would love to share with you guys the information on our People Essentials program. You get 2 full days with yours truly and Brandon and some.
And
of
I
our
promise you,
leading
she will
experts.
talk a lot at this event.
Well, that's what you're paying for, because what
100%.
an opportunity, what a gift. Like, that is the greatest thing that anybody could ever have access to.
You know, the hardest part of building your business is building your team.
So true.
100%. And if you want to have a massively successful, and the thing that's frustrating for us is when we're working with business owners that actually have the thing that they do is actually amazing and it could actually be huge and people could actually succeed at it. But because you don't learn the skill set necessary to find, attract, align, develop, and retain great people, your business stays small.
Exactly. And in the People Essentials workshop, we take you through hiring somebody. We named this person. One time we named the person Mango. We hired Mango on day 1. And by the end of day 2, we go through the process of firing Mango. So it's the full cycle of how you set expectations, daily meetings, how you create an employee maturity model so you can create career paths, all of the things that you need in order to run an efficient team, but also an engaged and inspired team is what we cover at the People Essentials workshop. I would love to have you there. I honestly, like, this is one of our best events, if I do say so myself. It's pretty spectacular.
It's her event, so of
there are
course
people in the
best.
chat who were like, this is fantastic. It was. If you've been to People Essentials and you thought it was amazing, can you type awesome or amazing or incredible in the chat? Because I know I have lots of people on here. Look at them. Look at that. Like, people love the People Essentials event. Anyway, back to.
All right, we're going to bring our guest on here.
Okay, great. I'm ready.
Who is our guest? Andrew McCallum.
Andrew.
Is Andrew? Can you
we-
guys find Andrew?
Can we call you Drew?
Come on, Andrew. Let's see.
Hello.
How are you?
Hi.
Good. How are you?
Good.
So
So you want to
good.
tell everybody how you found yourself on our 10X Owners Live?
I think I didn't put my hand down quick enough to be on the hot seat.
Well, here you
So
are.
Here you are.
I'm in the business buying group.
Mhm.
So I signed up to that and to the mentoring that went with it. So we're just
That's
starting,
perfect.
I think. So I've been through the online course, and I jumped on last week when we had the session, and I've still got plenty of questions, but I had plenty of questions last week, and so I've proceeded to go further and go deeper into this business that I'm looking at, and
How large a business is it?
it's about close to a $10 million revenue one. So I think it's
Great.
doing about 8 million this year, and it's been on a really good growth path over the last. It's only a 4-year-old business, but it's been on a really good growth path for the last 4 years.
And why is the owner selling?
Because he's done it a few times where he gets a business to a certain point, then he moves on. He doesn't want to grow up beyond the $10 million. He just has this.
So everybody hear that, because we talk about breakpoint 1 is 100,000 to 3 million. Breakpoint 2 is 3 to 8, and breakpoint 3 is 8 to 10. And the most profitable place, generally speaking, for a business to be sold is in the middle of a breakpoint. So when somebody knows how to build a $10 million business, the reason they sell when they get to 10 is because they intuitively know that they're going to bump up against the top of a break point and go to break point 4. And remember, break point 1 is the what you do. Break point 2 is who you do it with. Break point 3 is how you do it. And then break point 4, the 15 million number, is the leadership team that you develop that can carry the business to the next level. So the reason I bring this up is that people that don't have the confidence in building leadership teams and significant process to support the business will always try to sell between 8 and 12 million, because that's where that complexity starts to run into challenges in the business. So if you're a buyer of that business, the thing that you have to watch out for is what leadership is in place, what process is in place, because now you're going to be taking the intuition of the business owner and stepping into that role. And will the leadership that is there stay there working with you? And is there efficient enough content and structure and process in place that if they leave, the handful of people that know intrinsically what's going on, will you be able to figure it out and replicate the success that they've had? So already, just where you're at in the process, you know what you need to look for from a due diligence standpoint.
Yes, and it's scary. The biggest I've had is a 3 million business, so I'm taking a big leap. But I've had multiple businesses all at the same time, so I think I can do that, and think I can handle those management leadership issues, but definitely not on my own. So I'll be signing up for a few more courses, I think.
Yeah, let's go. You need to come to a 10X 360. Have you been to one of those yet?
No, I'm not a local, as you can tell. So
Yeah. But we do online. I'm just telling you that it'll help you with the due diligence process.
Yeah, definitely. I'll get over. I think they're in Miami, aren't they?
Well, we do them in Miami and Arizona, and we do them virtual.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
if you do it virtually, we also allow you, when things lift with any sort of COVID restrictions and things like that.
Yeah, you can
come back in person.
You can drop in anytime.
Yeah. Well, I think they've let us out of the cage now, so we can come. So
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Let's go. So
Hallelujah.
is there any questions you want to ask me on this deal?
well, I had a few questions about how to fund it. So that was the major part of what I'm trying to work out, and how to do it as a no money down kind of deal. I don't know that it's going to be possible to do it, but are there any thoughts on that? So I put together a pitch deck, and in there I was working out if I could get, so that the seller wants to sell it for $7 million, wants $5 million up front, and then a carry of 25%, and either as a promissory note or an earn out. And he says he sees a clear path on how to get it to 15 million. So that's encouraging that he wants to stay around and actually see it get there, but he doesn't want to do the work. So I'm happy to do it.
So I just want to tell you guys, I've done 130 deals, and 129 of them, the owners always told me about this great upside and that they're going to help do it. And not in one case did I get help doing it, because once they got their money, they were on to their next deal.
Yeah.
So the thing I would tell you is that don't believe what sellers tell you.
No.
Always
No,
view what sellers tell you. 90% of what they tell you is not going to be what it's going to be.
yeah.
Because if he had clear visibility to get to 15 million, he'd take it to 15 million.
He'd do it. Yeah. Yeah. So one of the things.
And by the way, he's admitting something. I want everybody to hear. If you listen to the negotiation, see when he says, I know that it can get to 15 and I'll help you do it, but I don't want to be the one to do it. That is specifically, you notice we've not had any conversation about this. And I told you that he's at a break point where he needs to develop a leadership team. He doesn't know how to do it. So they is acknowledging that if somebody was in there doing it, the business could do it, but he doesn't want it to be him. What he's telling you in just that statement is that he has not developed a leadership team that is capable of taking that business to 15 million.
There's actually two owners. There's one who's a 70% owner. He's the main guy, and there's a 30% owner as well. The 30% owner said that he's willing to stay on as a general manager. I don't know how that would work, but that could be a potential leadership.
Yeah, tell him to roll his 30% in the deal.
Sorry?
Tell him to roll his 30% into the deal. Ask him, hey, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you believe this could be a $15 or $20 million business? And if he goes, it's a 10, say, great, then I'll buy your 70% partner out and you roll your 30 into a new deal.
Yeah, so keep him in as an equity stake.
Yeah, and then see how committed he is when you offer that up.
Yeah, that's an option.
Because that'll tell you something.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So how much profit is this? How much profit is the business making?
So it's doing about 3 million last year, and it's on a growth path. So it's about 50% gross profit and about 40% over the last couple of years of net profit. So in my forecast, I've sort of made that a bit more conservative and dropped it down to 30% net profit, because I think more will need to go into it to invest and set up in new locations and bring in new resources and all that sort of stuff. So I've scaled that down a bit, but even then we can maintain that 3 million profit, or effectively based on the numbers. So the other
sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, the other interesting thing is that the average sale price is really high. It's like between 150 and 200,000 per pool that they're installing, and the national average in the US is about 65,000. So they're way above the average pool installation.
Pools, installing swimming pools. Is that what the business is?
Yeah, that's the business. Yeah.
Okay, great.
We love the pool business.
Yeah, we understand it. We love it. So look, I mean, if and generally speaking, if you've got a business that's making 2.5 million, the issue is going to be, you should be able to get financing. You should be able to finance 3 times to 4 times EBITDA. The issue with the lender is going to be is what is your actual experience to operate that business?
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then what's the value of the assets they've accumulated for our equipment, tractors, diggers, whatever they have? What's the asset value, net asset value?
That's about 300,000.
Okay. So there's not a lot.
Not a lot
of assets.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bobcats, trucks, trailers, that sort of thing. And then there's about 250,000 worth of inventory, which is the pool shells and the pumps and bits and pieces.
Yeah.
Like
So
that.
by your own admittance, this is a high-end pool installation business, right?
Yeah.
And it's dealing with a unique type of client.
Yes.
And it's at the very high end of the market.
Yep.
So margins are great, but the question I would ask is, where is this person finding the customers? Is it a network they have? Is it and how does that continue on? So you want to find out, like, of the last 25 clients, you want to break down where they came from, how they found them. Was it word of mouth? Was it a builder they have a relationship with? Like, you want to really get into the nitty gritty, because the continuation of those type of clients, and then the next iteration and question is, how many of those clients are in the marketplace that you can serve? Yeah,
they get about 100 leads a week, and about 40% of them are from the pool shell manufacturer, 30% are from customer referrals and a magazine ad in the local magazine, and 30% are from Google Ads. So
Yeah, so you want to make sure that pool manufacturer isn't gonna, I've seen businesses like this where all of a sudden the next tier of management slides out because it gets sold. They set up their own company and the manufacturer actually supports them in going out and selling their products. So you want to make sure that there's a cross. You want to make sure there's a cross non-compete with the supplier, with the key employees. Like there's some serious due diligence stuff that you want to check into. But this is what we exist for. And I shot that 20 hours. Have you watched all 20 hours of that?
Yep, a couple of times.
Man, a couple of times. You must feel like you know me.
Pretty well. I watch it
That
on.
was a lot of content.
There's a lot in there.
That was a lot of content.
It's good.
He's
And the
even
case
better
studies are great
in
too.
person than on virtual. That's one thing that I can say. He's even better. It's hard to believe it, but he is even better in person.
Yeah. So look, we have a pool business that we manage, a phenomenal family. We've actually just put a video out on the Silvas.
Mhm.
They went from 3 million to, we did 22 million last year, probably 35 million this year. And so certainly happy to line up a separate call with them. They're in our strategic business unit. So there might be some additional.
Were they at GrowthCon? Did they? I think
They
I saw
were,
them at
yeah.
GrowthCon. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the amazing couple I brought up on stage. Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys go to cardonventures.com/growth, their story is where it says owners, Aquatica, pools, and spa. So if somebody on our team wants to put cardonventures.com/growth in the chat, that would be great.
And so look, if you check all the boxes on due diligence, you should be able to find a bank that would lend on that business, and you should be able to find remember, no money down means it's not coming out of your pocket. So
That's
once
right.
you get if you get the business locked up and you can go find an outside investor that could put the equity in for 20% of the business or 25% of the business, and then you have a buyout provision with that equity investor that once while they have their equity in, maybe they're guaranteed an 8% return. Plus, once you return 100% of their money, so they get their money back plus 100%, that you get a chance to buy them out. So if you blow it up to 30, 40, or 50 million, you have an exit strategy for that investor.
Yeah. Okay. So I've got to look at being a bit more creative with that. Well, both the buying in and the exit at the end.
That's right. And then see if the guy will roll his 30% to build it to 20, 25 million with you. And if he's unwilling to, then you have to question, like, what is it he doesn't believe about the business?
Yeah.
It may just be, he wants to take some money off the table. It might be his first shot at $1 million or something. So it's not always bad. But the thing is the more you can understand this stuff, the better off you are in the due diligence process.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, it might be worth a trip.
Exciting times.
Certainly would.
Yeah.
Thank you for your questions, Andrew. I won't call you Drew. Speaking of spending
I
time
kind of just
with
say this is what I
Brandon-
love about this business is here we create this course.
Uh-huh.
I put 20 hours in it. Grant put like 8 hours in it. So we create
Yes.
this course. We had to write it all out and go through all the data. And then we have somebody that's not even in this country that's using the content.
So cool.
And so,
It's the power.
when
of
you think about it, we got
emotion.
clients we're working with in Germany. We got clients in Australia, New Zealand. We got clients in Asia. We got clients in Italy. We got clients in South America. We got clients, I'll be honest with you. It is absolutely what I love about being part of this 10X community is there is no boundaries. We have people that we're partnering with in the Middle East.
Mhm.
There's no boundaries if you want to be part of the 10X community. And for me, that's what I love about this community is the depth and width in which we're able to work with people. So
What I love about this community is how the people at the top of this community are the real deal. And I said this at our Bahamas mastermind that we hosted a couple weeks ago. Sometimes you're a little nervous to get around your mentors in person because most people have the experience where they put this person on the pedestal and you see them from a distance, but you don't really know them. And then you come into contact with them and you actually rub elbows with them and all of a sudden they're not who you thought they were. And that couldn't be further from the truth. I mean, obviously I can speak volumes about Brandon, but the Cardones, Grant and Elena are two of the most incredible people I've ever had the opportunity to spend time with. And the more I spend time with them, the more I'm convinced that they are the real deal and then some. And if you're interested in spending time with us and with specifically Grant and Brandon, we do have a couple of seats left
Oh my goodness, guys.
at our Cabo Mastermind,
Cabo-
which is happening
In
next
2 weekends.
Next
Next weekend. Wow.
It's not this weekend. It's next weekend.
Do we have the video of the Bahamas Mastermind?
Oh, boy.
That was one of the best events I've ever done. Do we have that video, guys? Do you know? Does anybody on our team know?
I'm
We
not
should-
sure that we.
No. All right. I just got to tell you, man, we had so much fun and such great.
Oh yeah, because we haven't been with you guys since because we missed last week.
Yeah.
And it was the weekend
Yeah.
before.
Yeah. So that mastermind in the Bahamas,
Playing backgammon.
we were playing.
betting.
Actually, we were playing.
Oh, it wasn't backgammon.
what was
Sorry, that's just the normal.
We were
Tuesday.
playing.
Craps.
No.
No.
Oh,
Guts.
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 So we
The
played like
game's
3
called
hours a night of guts. We spent 4 or 5 hours in the classroom together. We had a beach party. Well, on this trip, we're doing a yacht cruise for a sunset, watch the whales,
Beach
dinner, sunset.
party,
We're
yachts.
gonna do 4 or 5 hours each day of masterminding. It's gonna be just remarkable. We have a few spots left. So throw that masterminds page back up. If anybody is interested in joining us and taking one of those spots, then shoot this QR code, talk to the team. Let's get you registered. It's going to be amazing.
It really was just so spectacular. And to
Mm.
be around other people who you're just able to learn from, obviously you're learning from Brandon and Grant, but there's also the other Cardone team members, and there's other very successful business owners in the room who are sharing their experiences and things, more specifically like where they're winning. It's not about, oh, this is all the problems that I'm running into and these are all of my issues. It's all about, okay, hey, I'm doing this thing and it's really working for me, and this could work for you too in your marketplace with finding team members. Or hey, this promotion is working, or there's this new hack on TikTok to start promoting this thing. So it's all about how do you mastermind, take great minds, put them in a room and connect. But we also like to add a little bit of
We love to have
the fun.
Hey, look, let's just call it what it is. Anybody who can afford $25,000 a seat for 2 days has something going for them.
Mhm.
Like when you're in a room with 25, 30 people who are able to do that,
We
then
have a few.
then you're in the right room. You guys got that video? Let's play it. Let's show them what a good time that was. Lose you guys again?
We're working
got-
on
we're-
we're working on Wi-Fi.
All right, we're
upgrading
working,
our
yeah,
Wi-Fi.
upgrading the Wi-Fi here at the studio. We're in a
Anyway,
temporary spot.
man, I just got happy just even watching.
I
that.
know, I can't
I'm
wait.
So excited.
But before we get there, there's a couple other things that we have going on. So look, we have boot camp this weekend.
Mm,
It's, I believe, sold out.
it is sold out.
Now, here's the thing. Sometimes people don't show up because their flights get canceled. So if you're in the region,
We keep a couple of extra tickets.
then
in
let
our
us know if
pockets.
it's something you want to participate in.
It's kind of like when a hotel tells you that they're sold out, but if you know the owner of the hotel, magically there's like maybe one room. Well, think of us as the hotel owner.
Okay. And we have the People Essentials Workshop. This is
one almost is full, and I feel like we've barely even promoted it, but we talked to our 10X Owners Live crew before really anybody else. This People Essentials is the first one that I've done since I think January. And so
this
if
will be
you're
in
interested-
Scottsdale.
Yes, the Scottsdale People Essentials is going to be on fire. It might literally be a little hot in Scottsdale. There's no better time to visit Scottsdale than May. And that particular group of people is a great crew to be around because they're all business owners who are interested in, hey, how do I grow my team? Some of them might be team members who are in like a really strong operating function. So if you are at the People Essentials workshop and you meet somebody who isn't a business owner, you meet somebody who is in an ops function or maybe an HR function. Think of how incredible it is that business owners are investing in their team members enough to know, hey, somebody, it might not be me, but somebody in the business has to be handling this people side. For Brandon, nobody's calling Brandon when somebody quits. Nobody's calling Brandon when there's an employee issue. Like that should never touch the visionary of our company. We have this belief that you do not put that on his lines. His responsibility is to go drive the future. Could you imagine while he's responsible for driving the future, if somebody was like, hey, I know you're really busy pushing on the accelerator and it's pretty scary. I just want to let you know that there's this thing happening back at home. So you should maybe turn around. Like that should not happen. So if you are the visionary of the company, but you don't have anybody who knows how to handle your people or your operations, letting me train them at the People Essentials workshop is the fastest way to get them up to speed and just handling things that really you shouldn't be.
100%.
Do we have time for one more
Do we
question?
have, did we put the graphic up?
Oh,
for
the
it?
People Essentials. Yeah, if
Yeah.
you're interested
Can you
in
guys
People
pop the
Essentials,
People Essentials graphic up?
pop up that graphic. It's a good time. It really is. My
Shoot that
favorite
QR
event.
code, have a conversation. And if you have a team, if you want to develop your team members so they can help you build your business, send them.
Yes, and let the visionary do their thing because you shouldn't have to do it all. You really shouldn't.
All right, one more question, then we'll close out the evening.
Who do you want to do? I see a bunch of
I can't
people
see
up
because
there.
it's hard to.
That's great. I can't see.
Who is it?
Come on down. Oh, hello, Dr. Patel.
Hello. Happy birthday, by the
Hi.
way.
Oh, thank you so much. My first week as a 29-year-old has been fabulous.
Don't say 29, I'm 27.
There you go. We're just so close.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. Thanks for calling on me. And I have to give a positive feedback here. I've been with Brandon and Grant for about a year now. And we had probably our best year or best month this past month in growth, as well as we hired our first part-time doctor who's hoping to get into a full-time gig. And then also I'm having my, after coming to the People's Essential in the 360, I'm finally getting my ducks in order. So we're having our first staff meeting with going over the PPFs.
Let's go.
Let's go.
So, but my question was going back to what you were mentioning about feeling sensitive and feeling that gut-wrenching feeling of trying to accomplish your goals by not hurting people's feelings. When you have to say something to them, how do you go about, what did you do and how would you go about getting over that feeling?
Of hurting somebody's feelings?
Yeah, when you have to suggest to them that this is the correct way of doing it, even though you've said it a couple of times, and or when you have to keep repeating that inner gut feeling.
Where like this is where Natalie the hard ass comes out, which I don't often turn into this person with you guys, but like I'm just so passionate about you guys. I'm so fired up when I get to spend time with business owners who are out there putting everything on the line, grinding to make whatever your business idea actually a reality. And so knowing that you feel so strongly to put financial risk in place in order to go achieve your dreams, it's like, why would you tolerate somebody in the environment who's not doing the things that they need to do? It all of a sudden becomes unemotional to me. And I'm a very touchy feely emotional person. I want people to like me. However, it becomes almost like this vortex where it's black and white. If somebody isn't doing the thing that they have to do, feelings aren't involved. It's, hey, you need to do this thing. It's for us 150 outbound phone calls a day. There's no feelings in 150 outbound phone calls. And what makes it easier is having things documented. So when there are roles in your practice, or for the business owners on the call who you have other types of businesses, I'm very familiar with your business, you would just put this in a job description. So then when you're pointing to the job description to say, hey, look, it's 50 adjustments a day. It can't be lower than that. And every adjustment has to have this sort of documentation with it. And you didn't do this documentation. It's black and white. If they choose not to do it, correct them the first time, say, hey, I'm going to make sure that you're trained on this process. But then the second time, the third time, I refuse to have the conversation 4 times because I know that that person really isn't bought into what we're doing. if they're still not doing the thing that they already know that they're supposed to do, and that I feel confident that they've been trained on. It's black and white at that point.
So everything she's saying is 100% accurate, but that's not really the issue at this point.
Mm.
So the issue is that you first have to stop apologizing for wanting remarkability in your practice.
Absolutely.
And what, just so everyone's, I can tell by the nature of the question. So what you have to do is you have to come to terms with, even though you allowed that to happen in the past, so there's this guilt that you have, that you've excused it and rationalized it and justified it and let it go in the past, but now you've made an affirmation that you're going to move the practice to another level. So the thing is, that law of connection, right? You allowed it, you've conditioned the employee to think that maybe it isn't that important, or you've brought it up in the past and then you didn't do anything about it, so maybe you really don't care. And so what you need to do is sit down and you need to re-explain and create the baseline of, I know I allowed this to happen in the past. I know I would say I wanted to do things, and I know that I wouldn't follow through with them, and that's bad on me. But I'm moving the business to the next level of success. We've had the conversation. I need you to understand that I'm committed to this where we're heading. I'm committed to your goals. But what we can't do anymore is the same justification, the same excusing, the same rationalization that we've done in the past. And I need you to get in alignment with me on this, because if we don't get on the same page, this then means instead of you helping me take the business to the next level, you're actually impeding the ability of the business to grow to the next level. And I care too much about you and enjoy working too much with you that I don't want that to be what's happening. And just remember, high emotion, low intelligence. So when you feel the emotion overwhelming you to where you're gonna just don't, then you're not going to have good conversation and you're not going to present it the right way. So you have to become very pragmatic. Now, pick up what Natalie's saying. As soon as you become pragmatic and you have that, what I call cleansing conversation, you've reestablished the baseline. Now you go into what Natalie says, and then it's no longer excused after that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, hey, the first time we'll address it, which we're doing right now. The second time, I'm going to put it in writing. The third time, we're going to come to the terms that maybe you're not the right partner for where the practice needs to go. And I need to bring somebody in that will be the right kind of partner. And I'm trying to be a good partner by being absolutely crystal clear with you about expectations and results. And so now, are we aligned? And by the way, I want to make sure I revisit your personal, professional, financial goals, because this behavioral change is so important that when you make it, I want you to win when the business wins. And so you try to bring them into alignment. If that doesn't work the first or the second time after establishing a new baseline, then you need to post the position and start interviewing.
I love it. I used to feel silly about having the statement come out of my mouth, I demand greatness in my environment. And now it's just like, it's a way of operating. It's a way of being, and I don't apologize for it. I think that the mission statement helps you not feel that way, because instead of it being about a statement about yourself, some business owners really struggle with saying, well, who am I to demand greatness of my environment? But if you're really there for the patients, which you are, and you want to transform people's lives and you don't want them to be in pain anymore, of course you're there for greatness, and everybody around you has to be on that bus with you, because you know all of the alternatives that they're going to if they're still in pain, and you know what those roads lead down. And so it's like all of a sudden it's this obligation that you have, and it's no longer about you, it's about the patients, which the mission.
Well, you can be the best. You
helps
can be
with.
the best at what you do, but if your business doesn't represent at the best levels, people won't do it with you. So,
For sure.
so if your mission is bigger than whatever you're doing, then you need to conform the engagement in the business to support remarkability within the community. And that's a high standard, maybe one you didn't live by in the past, but it's one you're committed to in the future. And then that commitment starts right now. So instead of apologizing, you're like, hey, we had this conversation. This is where we're going. Reestablish the vision. Here's how we're getting there. Here's what's in it for you. Here's what the business needs to see from you. And we won't be having this conversation again.
We will not be having this conversation again. Guys, this is all
That was
what we
awesome.
go
Thank you so
through.
much. I appreciate it.
You're so
And this is
welcome.
the
It's
stuff
great
you're
see
going to
you.
learn at
The
the People Essentials Workshop. This is
I
why we put it in
look
place.
forward to seeing you guys in person at this People Essentials Workshop. Again, this is my favorite event that I get to do. 2 days with me, with Brandon, with our expert recruiters, talking about all the strategies we're implementing right now in order to find the right talent, develop them, and promote, and even in some cases fire them. So get your ticket. It's going to be a packed house. I know we're already like inching up towards capacity on that particular event. Any final words from this 10X Owners Live?
All I want to say is how much we appreciate you guys.
Oh my
Thank
gosh,
you for
it's like
joining
being
us
with
on a Tuesday
family.
night. And
So great.
Natalie did such a remarkable job today. It's always wonderful getting to see her be the center of the stage instead of sharing the stage. So thank all of you for joining us tonight. Have a wonderful week, and we will see you next Tuesday night for the next 10X Owners Live. The whole purpose of this show is to engage with business owners and be able to answer questions for people that will give them some insight and perspective on how to grow and scale a business. Not only leadership, but real life examples. This is the golden moment. I would do business with you right now.